this virtual scenario and between another real scenario. A region is like we say you live in California in the USA. This is a region. You are in the California. The region is USA. Then in that USA, you create a virtual private cloud. So you imagine this virtual private cloud as your home, because when you are in home and you have a router, that router distributes a random IP address to all devices that is connected to it. So once you connect to that router, you have an IP address. So what give you that IP address? In actually, what give you that IP address is your router, because there is a DHCP in that router, and they have explained what is the DHCP in my previous videos that you will find on my YouTube channel. So you imagine this virtual private cloud as your home, right? Then we have what we call it the availability zone. So what is an availability zone? We have region, in our case is the USA, but in the USA there are cities, California, New York, for example. In Brazil there is Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, right? So this availability zone is like the city. Here we have California city within the USA country, and this is the home, and this is like our router. The virtual private cloud is our router, right? And within it there is availability zones. Set in your mind what you will see, that anything that I will create it within this virtual private cloud, it will be as a person or as a device that will have an IP address, random IP address from this virtual private cloud. In our case, that we made an analog between this virtual private cloud and the router you have, right? So this availability zone will have an IP addresses, because this availability zone has what we call subnet. So what is subnet? Let me explain you what is a subnet. Let me come here and open another tab, and they will explain you what is a subnet. Let me imagine, let us imagine, because to understand something, you have to attach it to a real situation, or in a real scenario, to understand it very well. That, for example, you have a company, and this company has this private IP address, right? And 16. This 16 means that 16 bits is for the network, and the other one are for the host. I will explain you what means that. Because we have this is the entire IP address. Then we create, so this is, let me, and here we have here 16 bits, and then 16 bits. So if we combine both of them, we will have 32 bits, right? This is the actually, this is for IP version 4. right? So this portion is for the network. Define the network. And the other portion is for the host. The host means your machine, right? Then we have subnet. So for example, if for example in our company we have 3 offices. Let me expand this little bit. We have 3 offices. We have the first one, the second, and then the third. So so first office 1, then office 2, then office 3, right? And in each office we call it corporate office. In each office we have a specific number of employees, persons. For example, we have first 3 here, then here 12, and here as well. Right. And we have this IP address. So if we try to come here and look, the same here. We have a VPC, we give it this IP address. Then in each office, I want to have an IP address, right? For example, here, I want to have an IP address. So we type, the first thing we type it is our origin network portion. Then we add a portion of the subnet. So the portion of the subnet is reside here. We take it from the portion of the host ID here. So this portion is for the subnet. So once we want to look for a subnet, we go to the host portion, and there we will take some bits that we need. And how we determine how much bits we need? It depends on how much subnets you want to have in your company. In our case, it's three subnets. I will give you an equation that you use to determine how much bits we have to take from the host portion to satisfy the required number of subnets that we want. And this equation is 2 power, I don't know, power n, right? And this one must be greater than number of subnets, right?